Welcome back, Algebra 1. We are in Lesson 59, and we're going to talk about rearranging before substitution. So in the previous lessons, a couple lessons ago, we learned how to do substitution. Let me get my pen here. So if we had a system of equations that looked like this, and let's say we had x is equal to 2y plus 3, then we would take this value here and substitute it in for x, and so our equation will look something like 2y. I don't know why my pen likes to jump around like that. Let me fix that. Oh, it's kind of wonky. So 2y plus 3 plus 3y equals 5, because we just took this value for x and substituted it in where the x was. And then we were able to solve for y. Or if we had a system of equations that looked like this, y is equal to 2x plus 4, and then 2x minus y equaled 7. Well, all you had to do was then rewrite it and say 2x minus 2x plus 4, because that was the value of y, would be equal to 7. So that's how the substitution works. However, sometimes you're going to be given a system of equations where the single variable is not given to you as a value. So you've got to solve for that, whether it's x or y, you've got to solve for that before you can substitute. So I'm going to give you a practice problem. We'll just jump in and I'll show you how to do that. So our first problem, 59.1, it states that we have a system of equations, x minus 2y is equal to negative 1, and 2x minus 3y is equal to 4. Okay, so we don't have a single variable solved for here. But what we can do is I see that in the first equation, we have x by itself. So it makes sense to me that that would be the one we'd want to solve for. So I'm just going to move it over here. And I'm going to solve for x. And I'm going to do that by adding 2y to both sides, which allows us to cancel out. And that gives me x is equal to 2y minus 1. So now I have a value for x. Now all I have to do is come back over to this original equation and substitute in for x 2y minus 1 minus 3y equals 4. And then I can continue to solve. And that would be 4y minus 2 minus 3y equals 4. I'm going to add 2 to both sides. And then when I combine 4y and negative 3y, I have y by itself. This would cancel. These would add together. So y would equal to 6. Now I can take this value of y and I can go back up here where I solved for x, and I can say x is equal to 2 times 6 minus 1. 2 times 6 is 12. 12 minus 1 is 11. So x would be equal to 11. And so my answer would be 11 and 6. All right. So that's what you need to do in order to solve for these types of problems. See where you have that variable all by itself, and then you can subtract everything from that side to get it alone. So let's try another one. 59.2. All right, and let's see. This system of equations says 2x minus y equals 10. And I think I'm going to write these already separate so it's easier to solve. The second one says 4x minus 3y is equal to 16. All right, so here, in looking at both of these, I see that this one already has y by itself. So I'm going to solve for y because it's easier. It's already by itself. I don't have to do anything fancy. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. That leaves minus y is equal to negative 2x plus 10. But we don't want to have a negative y. We never want to have a negative variable all by itself. So what I'm going to do is multiply everything by negative 1. So then this becomes a positive y, this becomes a positive 2x, and this becomes a negative 10. Now I have a y value that I can substitute in. So I'm going to do that over here. 4x minus 3, and then the value for y is 2x minus 10 is equal to 16. Now I'm just going to distribute 4x. Negative 3 times 2x is negative 6x. Negative 3 times negative 10 is a positive 30. If I combine these two, I get a negative 2x, and I'm going to subtract 30 from both sides. So that is going to leave me a negative 14. Now if I divide both sides by negative 2, x is equal to 7. So now all I have to do, now that I've solved for x and my answer for that, I'm going to put that here, and you just need to find my y value. I'm going to take the value for x and I'm going to plug it into this one. So 2 times 7 minus 10 is the value for y. So y is equal to 14 minus 10, y is 4. So that would be my answer, 7, 4 in parentheses. All right, are y'all catching on? It's fairly straightforward. You just have to figure out which one are you going to solve for. Usually the variable that is all by itself, that has a coefficient of 1, that invisible 1, that's the one you're going to use. So let's do 59.3. Here we have 5x, oh, I'm sorry, not 5x, 4x minus 2y equals 38. And then the other equation is 2x plus y is equal to 25. All right, so it's pretty clear that this is our only variable that's by itself. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. And that leaves y is equal to negative 2x plus 25. So that's my value for y. And if you wanted to, if you don't like having that negative out front, you could swap it around. Either way works. It's still the same values. So I'm going to use this to sub in for the y here. So 4x minus 2, and then I'm putting in my value for y, which is negative 2x plus 25, is equal to 38. It'd be helpful if I wrote the number correctly. There we go. All right, so 4x, negative 2 times negative 2x is going to be a positive 4x, and negative 2 times a positive 25 is a negative 50. That equals 38. So 4x and 4x together, well, that's going to equal 8x. And if I have negative 50 here, I'm going to add 50 to both sides so I can cancel it on this side. So 38 and 50 is 88. So when I divide both sides by 8, x is equal to 11. So that's the first part of my point here that I am trying to find. So now I just need to substitute the value of x into this equation. So if x is 11, negative 2 times 11 plus 25, that is the value of y. Y is equal to, negative 2 times 11 is negative 22. Negative 22 and a positive 25 gives me a positive 3. If you want, I can actually write that out for you just so you see it. Y is equal to negative 22 plus 25 is the same thing as 25 minus 22. So y is equal to a positive 3. So that would go here. And this would be the answer that you put in to Jupiter. And that is all we have for lesson 59. I will see you in lesson 60. And guess what? Lesson 60 is halfway through the book. Congratulations on making it this far.